Patagonia, Patagonia, tierra de ángeles sufridos. Ayer te hirieron las balas, hoy te hieren los olvidos. Patagonia. Patagonia, Patagonia, destinada al sacrificio por los que miran de lejos como a indefinido sitio. Patagonia.
We flew into Patagonia with our tour guide Julio and 14 other travelers, and rode a chairlift to a national park on a spectacularly beautiful day.
¿Qué destino puede darte quien no asume tu destino? ¿Quién tiene rota la parte de pensar en argentino? Patagonia. Patagonia, Patagonia, embarazada de mitos que se mezclan con el viento y el aliento de tus hijos. Patagonia.
We rode the lift back down to the bottom of the mountain for a nature walk. Santi explained about the plants and the indigenous people of the area, the Mapuche.
Coihue is a Mapuche word. Mapuches, if you follow what the Mapuche word means, you get to understand a lot of biology, or what, if you can eat it or not, or so. And co means water, and we is place. So Coihue is where the places where we have water. These beech trees grow nearby lakes, rivers, and so. They are in the lower part and they grow very high. But later on we're gonna make a hike, and in this hike we're gonna visit the cousins of these guys, which are much higher, and these ones lose leaves during the winter.
Patagonia has no specific demarcation. It's just a sparsely populated region at the bottom of South America, shared by Argentina and Chile. The name comes from explorer Ferdinand Magellan, who used the word in 1520 when documenting his voyage of exploration. It was used to describe the native people who were thought to be giants, as they were so much taller than Europeans were at that time. Patagonia comprises the southernmost region of the Andes Mountains, as well as glaciers, deserts, steppes, and grassland. From Bariloche in the north to the Straits of Magellan in the south, Patagonia contains some of the most beautiful places on Earth and attracts nature lovers to its sweeping vistas.
proteins. And when the barley is broken, I put in the water to 50 Celsius, and this barley is waiting in this temperature 2 hours and a half, in 50 Celsius all the time, okay? In this moment I create a mash, a juice, a wort, with the name is mosto. Mosto, it's a sweet juice, okay? This mosto, I'm transpassing to the big vat, and in the big vat I put to boil this mosto 2 hours and a half more, and when the mosto starts boiling, I put the hops. You know the hops? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes? Hops is a climbing plant. It's very special in all the beers in the world. This is the plant.
Cambia lo superficial, cambia también lo profundo.
After lunch at a microbrewery, we walked into the town of Bariloche for some sightseeing and shopping.
Cambia el clima con los años, cambia el pastor su rebaño, y así como todo cambia, que yo cambie no es extraño.
In the 1890s, a German immigrant who had settled here established a little store. A small settlement of Germans and Austrians developed around this store, and its former site is now the city center. By 1900, the settlement, now named Bariloche, was primarily made up of German-speaking immigrants. By the 1930s, this was a tourist center with the appearance of an alpine town. Chocolate made in Bariloche is a favorite souvenir.
Y así como todo cambia, que yo cambie no es extraño. Cambia, todo cambia. Cambia, todo cambia. Cambia, todo cambia. Cambia, todo cambia. Cambia el sol en su carrera, cuando la noche subsiste, cambia la planta y se viste de verde la primavera, cambia el pelaje la fiera, cambia el cabello el anciano, y así como todo cambia, que yo cambie no es extraño. Mi amor, por más lejos que me encuentre, ni el recuerdo ni el dolor de mi pueblo y de mi gente, lo que cambió ayer.
From 1976 until 83, enormous numbers of people, including many children, were disappeared. The targets were primarily leftist-leaning people. The Argentine government often adopted away children or killed people and their bodies were disposed of in rural unmarked graves. The group, Mothers of the Plaza de Mayo, who are identified by their white headscarves, began marching and participating in demonstrations against these horrific crimes. The government called them mad women. Thus, some of these women were disappeared too. Possibly 30,000 are still unaccounted for. Since the fall of the regime, DNA evidence has been used to help identify remains from mass graves. Now grandmothers of the disappeared, they are still searching.
A-Y, exactly. Yes, but you pronounce it Limay because it's a Mapuche word. It's a Mapuche. Mapuches is the people, the Aborigines, the first people in here. Limay means in Mapuche clear water, or it will be the translation. It will be pure reflex on the water. Okay, cuando van con peces, con pescadores, toman el otro camino, toman la otra bifurcación.
A veces paramos a almorzar en el medicinal ese.
We boarded rafts for a lazy float down the Limay River. We were definitely in magnificent Patagonia. On the outskirts of Bariloche is the estancia of the Hannock family. It's a kind of gaucho dude ranch. This wonderful Argentine family greeted us for an unforgettable afternoon.
This herbal tea grows in a tree that will grow the height of the pines that are close by. So it's not a huge tree. And the original inhabitants of that area, which are the Guaraníes, the indigenous used to pick the leaves of this tree, dry them, and drink them in a gourd, yeah, cold, and they will filter with their teeth the drink. Yeah, the Spaniards basically invented this. It's straw with a filter in the bottom. Yeah.
How clever.
This is a drink that is kind of ritual. Here is a drink that we're gonna share. Yeah, and this is something that we do constantly, every day. Yeah? So if you prepare your mate, your own mate, first of all you put a bit more than half. Yeah, then you put your hand on the top. Yeah, you turn around and you shake. And you start doing the dance. No. The reason why I shaking it is because I want to put the powder at the top part.
Don Herman Hannock was part of the expedition that decided the border between Argentina and Chile in 1890. For this, he received a large land grant. In the 1970s, his descendants began using the land as a place for visitors to get a taste of life in Patagonia. This includes a guided tour on horseback and an asado, the Argentine barbecue.
Pampera, que preciso tu tristeza. Encerrame en la tibieza de tu embrujo celestial, que en esta gota de sal es un gaucho el que te besa. En el divino torrente de tu eterno divagar, tal vez se logre ensamblar mi copla lenta y tristona, y en gravísimas bordonas al cielo quiera llegar.
As we crossed the border from Argentina into Chile, we passed ash left from the volcano that erupted there in 2011. It closed the Bariloche airport and left the surrounding area covered. The amount of ash near the border over 2 years since the eruption was astounding.
I was absolutely flabbergasted to find that there's a Studebaker Museum in Chile. South Bend, Indiana, where the Studebaker was made, is my hometown. There was my old lark! The lakeside village of Puerto Varas is in the heart of a fishing area. Seafood was in our future. So was shopping. We took a walk around town to find the Mapuche textiles that I had read about before leaving California. We found the shop, It had great displays of native handcrafts. The Chilean saleswomen were helpful and very friendly. Julio helped us to figure out our Chilean pesos, and we set out on a local bus trip to Puerto Montt. We were headed for a big marketplace. We had 2 hours for this discovery. Off we went.
It's okay. We're going to give you an extra bag so you can wrap it up and it will not spread everything to your...
That would be good.
Miguel me dijo, eso fue el castigo por haber estado tanto tiempo enojado. Me mandó pura guacho. Ya, ¿había me quedaste?
While shopping in Puerto Montt, we saw a poster showing the indigenous people called Patagons, or giants, by the explorer Ferdinand Magellan. This tribe, now considered extinct, were distinguished by their unique body paint. We found for sale small statues representing these exceptionally creative people, so we bought some.
And the models that you bought, and also all those models come from the same artist.
Oh.
And I was like curious because the item that you bought, you're not going to find anywhere else.
We got back out into nature by visiting a national park. It continued to be a rainy day. This just added to the fun and the feeling of abundance of water in the area. We asked a lady to take a picture of us. We weren't clear with our request. One way to meet the locals. Our local Chilean guide, Marcel, joined us for a boat ride to a fishing camp for lunch. We sat out on an enclosed porch with the rain thundering around us.
So, did you enjoy the meal? Yeah. I want to introduce the lady who was in charge of cooking everything. Is Rosita over here, right? Rosita! The taste, they prepare everything in that stove over there with the wood, and you can see exactly how it tastes. Very good. What you ate was trout, but rainbow trout.
The principal is from the city of Ancud. It's the city that you are going to sleep tonight, all right? She's my personal hero. She's great. You're going to love her. Is a principal, teacher. She cleans, she acts, she is a goalkeeper, she do everything. We are going to take half an hour, and then the island is there. You can see it from here at the left hand side. That's the island. So it's 5.6 kilometers from one point to the other. That is the ferry boat that we are going to take. After that half an hour, we are going to take more or less 1 hour to get to the cove of Puñihuil, where the people is waiting for us for the navigation to see different kind of birds, hopefully some penguins.
We had a unique way to get to the boat for a swift ride out to a wildlife reserve off the coast of Chiloé Island. We were hoping to see Humboldt penguins. During the day, the penguins are usually out in the water feeding. We were lucky to spot a sea otter as it entered the water and swam past our boat.
Oh, there he is. Look, right there.
Oh, here he is, right here.
Where?
Beautiful.
Where? He's just right under, right there. Oh, no. He's coming up.
Three Humboldt.
You guys sitting up there.
Sitting up there. Look at that one.
Yeah, all by himself. Yeah.
Oh, there's two in the top.
We have a continuing respect for wildlife photographers. With rough seas, rain, and wind, it was a real challenge to get good pictures.
All right. All the rooms are the same. There's no better room or with a view, without a view. No. All the rooms are exactly the same because, then again, Chilotos don't care about the room. They care about the common area. And since they really enjoy this common area, the dining room, they put most of the things, the good stuff in there. So look around the hotel because it has many details. You already noticed how good they are at wood carving. This hotel is the perfect example of that. When you go to other hotels all around the world, they're kind of like the same flavor, all standardized. This hotel is one of a kind.
Chiloé Island and its main town of Castro are famous for the riot of colorful cottages up on wooden pilings. Originally, the cottages were built on what was considered free waterfront tideland. Now these edgy buildings are the hallmark of this town. Leaving the waterside, we walked on the street side to see the fronts of the houses. The residents looked out to see our small group looking back up at them. Permission was granted by a happy homeowner to tour his cottage. It was such fun to see the homey inside of this tiny and tidy place. November is spring in Chile. Time to make repairs. Workmen were busy unloading new pilings to replace those that had rotted during the winter. Chiloé is also renowned for its wooden churches as part of their wood carving tradition. 14 of these churches were designated a World Heritage Site. We visited one, the bright yellow Church of San Francisco, with its impressive wooden ceilings.
Took a necessary baño break and then went on an ingredients buying trip. We were given pesos and a piece of paper with the name of a recipe item in Spanish. We were to interact with the vendors and purchase part of the ingredients for our lunch. Of course, that cute basket hanging up there was irresistible, even though it wasn't ingredients. Color is everywhere in Chiloé. Houses, clothing, rugs, all reflect the influence of the colorful island. It was a glorious, colorful day on this beautiful Chilean island.
One of these, I don't know how you say it in English, but this is the boat they use to get to the big boats.
Oh.
Is it?
Dinghy.
Dinghy, exactly, that one. They asked for him to make this one week ago. So this one cost $700.
Oh, it's a good value.
Yeah.
Una semana sí, durante una semana hoy día estaría financiando la semana el día que lo empecé.
¿Cuándo se terminará? ¿En 10 días?
The tradition of making boats by hand using wood is still active in Chile. This builder uses his skill to satisfy local fishermen for small boats as well as larger vessels capable of sailing into the Pacific for fishing and for hauling cargo. This custom continues to thrive in this part of Patagonia.
Is that his retirement boat?
Yeah, no. He said that he negotiated with the fisherman because he's a former fisherman too, so he never charged a lot of money because they know exactly how it is. It's not easy. Bueno, Luisa, el Víctor, el conductor nuevo. Está bien, en la puerta.
Hola, hola. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien.
Listo. Okay, team, so allow me to introduce our hostess of this fine evening, María Luisa.
Dale fuego.
María Luisa, hola, hola.
Hola, María Luisa.
Hola, hola.
Hola, hola. And
Primero las hojitas verdes a los lados.
okay. They are starting to make a insulation process. Part of this ritual or ceremony called the curanto. First thing Marcela has to surround everything with leaves. And now, mussels that go on top of the rock.
Oh yeah! Mussels!
Now, all the food that you see, it's for us, just for us.
Oh!
Go easy on the food today.
Potatoes!
We go for the potatoes, plus the potatoes that I purchased today in the market.
Chicken!
Chicken, chicken!
Oh my goodness.
And
The smoke!
Smoke pork.
Like a luau.
And last but not least, the chorizo, the potato pancake. Potato with flour. More leaves.
The turf!
The turf. Now, ta-da! Exactly 1 hour, we have to come back here, take everything out, and dig everything from the fire, otherwise it'll be overcooked. 4:20.
5, entonces, y ahora los invitamos que vayamos a la casa.
Okay. She's the boss, so
He's ready.
just follow.
She invited us to the house now. Oh my god, it's cooking already.
While our traditional Curanto meal cooked and our stomachs rumbled, our hostess Maria Luisa and our own chef Janet demonstrated making potato fried bread. Yummy.
Marcel, is it hot?
You can touch it.
It's not.
It's not hot.
It's warm.
It's just a little bit warm.
It'll be there because of the smell. You know?
That's why you have a dog, right?
Yeah. That's a chorizo.
Chorizo. So remember, we have
Okay, I didn't
pork,
know, really.
Dan, are you doing it?
chicken, chorizo, and the mussels at the bottom.
Si quieres ayudarme a sacar las carnes,
Yeah.
no hay problema.
A ver, que no hay
Are
otra.
you eating it?
I like the steam of all of that together.
No, these are delicious.
Don't be afraid, guys. If you want to try one, try it.
Can you take it right? Now we're going to see in a few more minutes a body of water that I'm sure you read some time ago. You said, wow, that looks like very, very far. I don't think I'll ever go there. No, too far. And today you'll get to see, not only to see, but the challenge is to touch the Strait of Magellan. I already have one volunteer that's going to take off the shoes. Two more. Three. Oh my gosh. Also, yes, remember, you go as far as you want. 5 cents experience, at least with one finger, and you take a picture and you get to say back home, I saw the Strait of Magellan and I felt the cold water.
Magellan's fleet of 5 ships sailed from Spain on September 20th, 1519. King Charles I had agreed to fund 234 people for 2 years to find a route to Asia. When she left South America, the expedition of 3 ships and 50 crew was ill-equipped, poorly provisioned, and blissfully ignorant of the vastness of the Pacific Ocean. Only 2 of the ships made it to the Philippines. Magellan was killed there. 19 men returned to Spain 3 years after leaving on September 8, 1522, and on Victoria. She was the only ship to accomplish this incredible and heroic voyage. Tiny, round-bottomed Victoria was the first ship to circumnavigate the Earth. Punta Arenas is the hometown of our tour leader, Julio. He took us to a restaurant famous for feeding members of Antarctic expeditions. He'd invited his mom and dad to join us. He was really glad to see them and proud to introduce us to his folks.
We took off on a road trip across southern Patagonia. What an incredible drive it turned out to be. We experienced that Patagonian wind we had heard about.
Okay, if you want to, stay close to the bus, please. Don't go close to the cows. Stay close to the bus. Please a moment.
First we saw some gauchos trying to wrangle a herd of cattle with a bus full of people spooking the cows and taking pictures. The wind was incredibly strong. Our cameras were buffeted from side to side trying to capture this gaucho experience. Next we began seeing abundant springtime wildlife. However did those flamingos stand on one leg in that astonishing wind?
Those are condors, huh?
I did a better picture from in here than I did outside.
Wow.
Holy moly. Just finished a story, now I have another one. The condor is the largest flying continental bird in the world. From here, they look very small, but they are actually 3 feet tall.
Oh, they are.
Oh yes, 3 feet tall and wingspan of 11 feet.
Oh, look at that one too.
Their primary feathers are as long as my arm. So when you see the condor flying, on the tip of the wing looks like open fingers. Those feathers are as long as my arm. Yeah, no, they're big things.
Bunch of little birds with them.
There's some caracaras with them. You think there's even smaller ones? Yeah, most of the ones around the world are caracaras.
And how come they're not afraid of the bigger birds?
Because the condors eat.
No, the ones that are black and white are adults. The one on the left, and it looks kind of like a brownish, is a juvenile. I mean, they are gregarious animals. They live in groups. And once
No, that's all right.
one of them finds something good to eat, they all come together. And they also follow the same terminals. Like, look at the shadow on the ground.
Shadows.
Carol, huh? Through here. No, I've got glasses.
Yeah, if anyone wants binoculars.
Arm.
Amazing. I mean, when you get close.
Look at the loft they get.
See, they're posing just for you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Seize the moment.
Up like that. Wow.
They're beautiful. Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
They're both new at this.
Right.
That man was a little bit younger. He might get him. Oh, look at his.
Look at him now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Look how. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Universal greeting.
Oh my gosh. You're not worried, obviously. Wow.
Look at him.
Says you smell good, but
He's taking a pee or tip or something. I should see a picture of that. That's pretty good.
A young fox.
that'd be a good movie. Maybe there's no real danger. I mean,
Get them on the hawk.
These are gray fox. We have 2, red and gray. And they're, well, they eat rodent, European hare, and they also take advantage of some roadkill.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna go get a duck now.
He's going after the duck now and see if he's got better luck. Okay, yeah, I forgot to mention that condors only eat dead animals. Yeah. I don't think they will go down for arid. That is too much trouble for some little bit. So anything bigger than a sheep will bring the attention.
They don't do sheep though usually.
The condors?
Condors.
Yeah, but only when they're dead.
If they're dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the
Is that the father? That's the father.
That's their proud father. Yes.
Following him. Wow. Okay.
You see, the little ones are taking on whatever they can find. Oh, that's a great shot of the Atlantis family.
We had a bagnio break when we stopped at a roadhouse. We also had a cup of coffee. Nearby is a roadside shrine to the Madonna of the Water Bottles. It seems that a local woman died of thirst and her baby survived and was found alive. Now travelers leave water bottles to honor her.
Now the name of the park is Torres del Paine. Like, Torres meaning towers, and Paine meaning blue.
After our amazing wildlife experience, we were a bit late in our schedule, so we took off right away for a hike near Lago Grey. We marveled at the icebergs floating in the lake. We also still experienced the amazingly strong Patagonian winds. Then suddenly we came upon the rare endangered Andean deer. Julio told us they think there are only about 200 left in Chile. Wow! Our fortune held as we watched this marvelous and rare buck feeding.
So we get to the parking lot and we do the bridge, we do the forest, the slope, and then we walk straight towards the lake, right? And then you will see the red boat. Some of you already saw it in one of the signs of the hotel. We're going to get some life jackets, and then we get on a small rubber boat for, I would say, 1 minute from the shore to the big boat where we are going to sail Lago Grey.
And Great Glacier belongs to Southern ice field. It is the third largest reservoir of water in the world after Antarctica and Greenland. The surface is around 17,000 square kilometers, and it belongs to Argentina and Chile. Chile has around 80%, Argentina 20%.
The morning after our celebration, we awoke to an incredibly clear day on Lago Grey. The clouds were gone. We could see the mountains clearly. We were on our way out of the national park. Every bend in the road gave a more spectacular view than the last.
So the viewpoint there in the hotel, isn't that wonderful? It's like one of those natural wonders of the world. Okie dokie. What a great view, huh? What a great day. Yeah, that's right. The main summit has been conquered only 3 times in recorded history. That difficult. 2 times in summer, and the last time during the winter, a Chilean team. 2 winters ago. And for the first time, a woman. Oh yeah, girl power. There she was. up in the summit, picture, and then keep back.
The guanaco is a vulnerable animal, native to the mountainous regions of South America. They are more numerous in arid places. It was a breathtaking experience to watch these guanaco in wild Patagonia.
We get the guanaco, and then from that family we get the llama, vicuña, and alpaca, all the other South American cameleons. Right? Okie dokie. So this is the waterfall, the Cascada Paine. So we had some melting. This water comes from glaciers upstream. Team. This is the last viewpoint that we have. There are no others on the way to the border of the park, and we see the whole mountain range, the whole Pine Range. Lunch will be our last discovery in Chile. It's a homemade meal called cazuela. Cazuela is something between a stew and a soup. When you sit down, you'll notice that you have a fork, a spoon, and a knife. It's very rich, really nutritious, and it's what we Chileans would eat on a typical Sunday when we gather as a family. Okie dokie team, just your passport with your reciprocity tax paper, the one with the barcode. Step outside and then we line up.
After passing from Chile back into Argentina, we crossed a no man's land. Then we stopped to change buses and pick up our Argentine local guide, Jimene. She would be with us till the end of our tour in Patagonia.
On your right, See, there's a line of steps, and then there is this highest peak behind or among the clouds. That's Fitzroy Mountain. Why the name of that mountain, Fitzroy? The English captain that brought Charles Darwin in 1834 to this area, they came upstream all along Santa Cruz River, but they never reached up the lake. Anyway, they've been here and they've seen from far away those peaks. A few years later, another explorer, Francisco Moreno. Moreno sounds familiar, right? Sounds like the glacier we're going to see tomorrow?
Wow.
Going closer to the fence, lucky you, because you can see this one before and not so close, right? It's a black-chested buzzard eagle.
Oh my gosh, it's taking everything. It's huge.
It's a pretty big bird.
They are give or take 60 centimeters tall from head to tail. You know, birds, we measure them from head to tail, 60 centimeters tall. Females can be 10 centimeters taller than males. The one on the ground is a young one. The one on the fence is an adult.
Oh.
Yes, females are looking after the nest in this case.
Nice stuff.
Good spotting.
We pulled up to the last hotel on our tour in the city of El Calafate, Argentina. We checked into the large, authentic estancia built in the 1920s, now converted to a hotel. The log construction made us feel as if we had gone back in time. Some of the outbuildings are used for gatherings and demonstrations of the ways of gauchos, sheep, and those marvelous working dogs. Today there was no ferocious wind to prevent a good picture, just a perfect day in Patagonia.
Adventure is coming to an end. Right? Oh yeah. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why it's called the present.
I love that. How much snow is falling down in this area? 8
Per year.
per year.
8 meters per year?
Yeah, 8,000 millimeters or 8 meters per year. 8 meters, 24 feet, it's a lot. Quite a lot. As we are located between 48 and 52 Celsius, 52 degrees of southern latitude, not Celsius, degrees of southern latitude, we're talking about snow. So, welcome to Los Glaciares National Park. Here we are. This is the wow. And I can't avoid telling you how lucky you are, because not so often we can see the high peaks of the mountains, because of course this glacier is in balance because that area is full of clouds and keeps snowing most of the time up in the mountains, okay?
Our final site was the astonishingly huge and magnificent Moreno Glacier. We proceeded along the raised walkway while the enormous glacier grew closer. What an awe-inspiring place. Bravo, Patagonia!
Oh, here.
Right here. Are you eating? Yeah, yeah, this is the head one.